something that comes up all the time if you're serious about getting better at MMA, BJJ, wrestling, judo, or pretty much any combat sport is strength and conditioning. Look, we all know mat time is king. Your technique has got to be sharp. But if you want to truly dominate, especially when the fight gets difficult and you're deep in the trenches, just drilling and rolling isn't going to be enough. I see so many fighters hit walls, get those nagging injuries, or just feel like they're spinning their wheels. And honestly, a lot of the time it boils down to their strength and conditioning. Either they're skipping it altogether or they're grabbing some cookie cutter plan off the internet that has nothing to do with the specific hell they put their body through in their sport. So today I want to really unpack what elite strength and conditioning for fighters actually looks like. We'll dig into the core stuff you absolutely need to be training, how to structure it so it actually helps and doesn't just burn you out, and why making it personal to you is the secret sauce. We'll cover why this stuff matters, what to train, how to organize it, and how to sidestep the common mistakes. First off, why is strength and conditioning basically non-negotiable if you're aiming high? Simple. While your skill is your weapon, S&C is the physical horsepower that lets you wield that weapon effectively, especially when you're tired, under pressure, and your opponent is trying to break you. Think about what good S&C brings to the table. We're talking real power for explosive takedowns that just happen, submissions that feel unstoppable, and being able to just move dynamically when you need to escape a bad spot. It means having the endurance that lasts, the gas tank to push the pace, keep your technique sharp, and just stay present in those tough rounds or long matches when the other guy is starting to fade. That's huge. Then there's usable strength, the kind that's about controlling opponents in the clinch or on the ground, winning those grip battles that are everything in grappling, and simply being harder to move around. Let's be real, combat sports grind you down. So S&C helps with staying healthier and building injury resilience. Building stronger muscles, tendons, and ligaments helps your body take the punishment and cuts down on those injuries that sideline you. A well-conditioned body just allows you to bounce back faster, meaning you can recover better between brutal sessions, train harder, more often, without digging yourself into a hole. So, what actually goes into elite combat athlete strength and conditioning? Let's break down the 6 essential pillars, drawing from principles used in effective programming. First up, Pillar 1, foundational strength. This is your base. We build it with big compound movements that work multiple muscle groups. Think exercises like squats for leg drive, deadlifts for overall pulling power and a strong posterior chain, presses for upper body pushing strength, and rows or pull-ups for building that immense pulling strength, crucial for grappling control. Next, Pillar 2, explosive power. Strength is great, but in a fight you need to apply it fast. This is your turbocharger. We train this using methods like Olympic lift variations. Things like hang power cleans are fantastic, kettlebell swings or snatches for hip power, various plyometrics like box jumps, depth jumps, or lateral bounce to improve reactivity, and even medicine ball throws for rotational power. This pillar converts that foundational strength into fight-winning speed and explosiveness. Pillar 3 is sport-specific conditioning. This is your gas tank, your engine. What good is strength and power if you gas out after the first scramble? You need conditioning tailored to the demands of MMA or BJJ or other combat sports, which means developing both your aerobic system for longer rounds and your anaerobic system for those intense, short bursts of high activity. This can be trained through high-intensity interval training, metabolic circuits combining different exercises, and of course, intense, sport-specific drilling and hard sparring or rolling. Pillar 4, core strength and rotational power. Your core is the link between your upper and lower body, essential for transferring power, maintaining stability during grappling exchanges, and generating rotational force for strikes or throws. Exercises like Russian twists, anti-rotation movements like the pull-off press, and dynamic core work like kettlebell windmills are key here. Then we have pillar 5, grip strength. If you grapple, you know how crucial grip strength is. For BJJ control, judo throws, wrestling tie-ups, or MMA clinching, a powerful and enduring grip is non-negotiable. We build this through exercises like farmer's carries, heavy rows, weighted pull-ups, and specific grip holds like bend-resisted holds or gi pull-ups. Finally, pillar 6, mobility and durability. This is often the most overlooked pillar, but it's vital for longevity and performance. This means staying healthy, moving fluidly, and preventing injuries. This involves performing proper warm-ups before every session, incorporating mobility drills, targeting key areas like hips and shoulders, and using tools like stretching or foam rolling for recovery and maintaining range of motion. All of these pillars are non-negotiable. However, their relative importance can be adjusted to suit specific fighting styles. For instance, a fighter focused on relentless pressure and cage wrestling, like Khabib Nurmagomedov, likely prioritizes raw strength with heavy lifts, intense wrestling-specific conditioning, and core posture stability, incorporating exercises like deadlifts, squats, aerodyne workouts, and heavy carries. In contrast, a dynamic BJJ player who favors quick transitions, flexibility, and catching submissions from unorthodox positions will still require a solid strength and conditioning base, but may emphasize explosive power for scrambles, exceptional grip strength, especially for gi players, and maximizing mobility and flexibility. Okay, so we've got these pillars: strength, power, conditioning, core, grip, and mobility. How do we put it all together without just creating a chaotic mess? You can't just do everything all the time, full blast. That's a recipe for burnout or injury. Smart training uses structure called periodization. Basically, you break your training into blocks or cycles. Maybe you spend a few weeks really focusing on building that foundational strength, pushing the big lifts. Then you might shift gears into a phase emphasizing explosive power and sport-specific conditioning, trying to get faster and build that gas tank. Finally, you might have a phase where you bring it all together, trying to peak for a competition or just hit a new performance level. And crucially, planned recovery is part of the program. These are often called deload weeks, where you intentionally back off the intensity or volume. This isn't slacking, it's essential for letting your body adapt, get stronger, and avoid grinding yourself into dust. Now you're probably thinking, man, that sounds complicated. And you're right, juggling all these pillars, structuring them into smart phases, and making it fit around your already demanding mat schedule, it's tough. This is exactly why those generic programs you find online often don't cut it. They don't know you, your training history, your current strength, your old injuries, how well you recover, what you're actually trying to achieve, or even what equipment you have access to. That's why I've decided to partner with a service called matstrong.com. It's designed primarily for BJJ, but the principles for building functional, usable strength apply just as well if you're doing MMA or other martial arts. I tried it myself and was impressed by the detail and affordability. I received a 12-week training plan that broke things down into 4-week phases: foundation, integration, peaking. Use exercises we've talked about like cleans, swings, jumps, and core work. And here's the key: adapted based on my starting point regarding strength, skills, and cardio level. It also included warm-ups and guidance on progressing weights. The way it works is you go on the website, fill out a detailed quiz covering your experience, goals, limitations, current numbers, if you know them, and schedule. MatStrong then uses that info to build a custom strength and conditioning plan just for you. The idea is that it takes out all the guesswork, makes sure what you're doing actually helps you on the mat, and helps build that solid foundation safely. So if you're tired of generic programs and want something truly personalized, I recommend checking out matstrong.com. And you can use my coupon code MINMAXING, that's MINMAXXING, for a 25% discount. Look, whether you use a service like that or build your own plan, some core truths always apply. Remember those pillars we talked about: strength, power, conditioning, grip, and mobility. Don't let any of them fall by the wayside, and stick to the basics of good training. Consistency is king. Just showing up and doing the work is half the battle. Focus on form over ego. Lift smart, because getting hurt kills progress faster than anything. Keep applying progressive overload by gently pushing your body over time, as that's how you adapt and improve. And absolutely prioritize recovery. Sleep enough, eat well, listen to your body, because this is when you actually get better. Training like a high-level combat athlete means being dedicated. Dedicated on the mats, absolutely, but also dedicated to smart, structured strength and conditioning off the mats. Start putting these principles into action. Seriously think about getting that personalized training program, and you'll be on your way to become a serious problem for anyone you face. Hope this breakdown was helpful. If it was, maybe give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want more stuff like this, and I'd love to hear what your biggest strength and conditioning challenge is down in the comments. Keep training smart, and I'll see you next time.